Hello, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Candace, and today I have a fun video. I say that all the time, but this one's fun. So I actually did this wig install, and so if you want to see how I did that, definitely keep watching. Okay guys, so starting off, this is what the box looked like. Isn't this cute? I know I look crazy, but it has this little silky bag which has the wig in it. I actually did cheat a little bit because I already bleached the knots and everything, but I put it back in the bag, you know, to show you. So I'm taking my little rubber spatula, and this is the Esha glue. Not my favorite glue, but I haven't glued down a wig in so long. This is legitimately the only wig that I have left. So I am going to do this in sections. As you see, I have a widow's peak, and I try not to get glue on my actual real hair. So I just go around it, and I am going to end up putting a couple of layers on. So I am going to blow dry on like warm in between, just to get the layers partially dry and pretty tacky. I really just need the layers to turn, for the most part, clear before I start adding on my second layer. This one is kind of nice because it starts off like this opaque bluish color almost, and then after you blow dry it for a while, it starts to get clear, so you kind of really know when it's time to be done with the layer. Next, I am taking my wig. I did over bleach the knots a tiny bit in the front and in the part. The front, I did go back in with hair dye just to correct that. I don't know why I didn't do the part, y'all. Like, that was kind of a mistake, but it's fine. So here I am just using a little bit of my hairspray and really working the hair into the glue with my comb here. I like to use a hairspray because I feel like it just helps the glue dry a little bit better. And I am just going to measure out the frontal. This one is just a little bit long for the sides, so I am going to cut off the excess lace and cut around my ears so that I can give myself a little sideburn action and obviously have my ear exposed. Then I'm going to cut the lace into flaps, and I'm going to pin back this section, and then I'm going to start working on the sides. Now the sides, I did go over into my hair just a little bit, but before I actually did that, I had hairsprayed the sideburns just to add a little bit of like protection before I put glue on top of it. And I am going in with 2 layers with that as well, and I am blow drying those both on warm in between. Now, I personally don't go crazy with the baby hair, so I really try to make sure that the hairline is well blended. So I am taking that comb and I really am pressing and smoothing that into the glue so it really just starts to melt a little bit. And then I did find that since I didn't tint the lace, it was giving me a little, I don't want to say ashy, but it was a little light. So I just go in with a little bit of my foundation powder and a little bit of bronzer, and I just kind of go in and fix it before I move on to the other side. Now this is something that you could do at the end, but I don't know, I noticed it and I couldn't unnotice it, so I had to do it right then. So then I am going to cut the other side into flaps and literally repeat the same steps on this side too. Y'all, this was so much hair. I should have had so many more clips at the ready, but it's okay. So then I am going to section out the earpiece, and I am going to cut off the excess lace around the sideburn ear area as well. This one I did kind of miss a little bit of lace behind the ear, so I am going to go back and cut that off. Don't even worry about it. Then I'm going to take that little spatula. I like applying it with a spatula. Some people use sticks and stuff, but spatulas are pretty easy to clean, reusable. I don't know, I'm a fan. And then I am going to blow dry in between as well. And I am going to go ahead and add 2 layers, just like, literally y'all, just like I did on the other side too. I will say on this side, I ended up putting like a little, maybe arguably too much glue. So I probably would just be mindful and go in with maybe even a little bit less than you need and kind of work your way up. But it's fine. I did eventually kind of fix it more or less, but if you are feeling like you use a lot of glue, just really make sure that it turns clear before you start laying it down, or else you might get a little bit of like the whiteness showing through the lace, which is a little bit harder to cover up than like ashy lace. So as you see, I just kind of cut that little extra piece behind the ear, and then I am going to now focus on laying the lace and really melting it. So what I like to do is section off a little bit of like the sideburns just to kind of really keep the ear tabs down when I put my band on. And then I am hairspraying around the hairline just because I also feel like that helps in combination with the glue. It just helps to melt the lace as well. And y'all, this band was so tight, Lord help me. So now that I look like a lion with all of this hair, I decided to just flat iron it just to take it down a notch. I'm using my Chi Silk Infusions thermal like serum. Love, 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 love this stuff. I literally just bought it and got into it. I'm late to the party, but it is amazing. I also decided to just go through the hair, mostly like one pass. Maybe some spots I did two passes, but I really wanted to leave like the kinky straight texture in there. But I did want to just kind of like take down some of the poofage. And there's really nothing special about the technique that I'm using. I am using my like Denman brush with the flat iron. The flat iron is set to like 410 degrees. And I'm just doing rougher sections. I wasn't really that neat about it because I didn't care. And I didn't want to be sitting here all day, to be honest. I literally sat here for like an hour and a half just laying this wig, flat iron it, all of that. And that was plenty long. So I am just going to speed through these clips. Maybe I'll put a little bit of music or something while you watch me flat iron this. Also, the lighting is going to be changing just a little bit because the sun is going down. But I don't know. It's fine. We got the studio lights. Not even tripping about it. So with the part here, I felt like it was just a little bit too wide because I did over bleach the knots just a little bit. So I am taking a little bit of black eyeshadow and I just kind of filled it in. Now after I take the band off and I feel like it's pretty laid, I am going to take my eyebrow razor and start to cut the lace. Now I do personally go back and forth from the eyebrow razor to like my shears because I do like using the eyebrow razor to get kind of that rougher edge, which I think blends a little bit better. And sometimes if I can't grab it, I do just take tweezers to really get close. But then in certain areas, I feel like for some reason I just get more control if I use the shears. So it really just comes down to preference. And then also you can see that the lace is just a little bit lighter because I did not actually tint it. So I will be going back over it with my bronzer and foundation powder, and that's just going to help blend it. So as I'm cutting the lace, I do notice a couple of pieces that needs to probably be laid a little bit more, but that's not really a big deal. That's kind of an easy fix, and I will go back in and do that after. Then I am going to take the shears, kind of like what I was talking about, and I am just kind of cutting around the sides or else anywhere that I feel like I can't really get the razor to. I am going to use my shears. Also, with the lace being laid over my actual sideburns, like my real hair, I do like using the shears because sometimes I feel like if I use the eyebrow razor, I don't know, I might like hack off my actual sideburn, and that I can't do that. So here I am applying a little bit more of the glue and blow drying it just to really lay down those edges. And I do just kind of stay in this little area and like am a little bit picky about it before I move on to like another section. And especially because, like I said, I don't like using, you know, a whole wall of baby hairs. So I do try to get the sides down and looking nice as best as I can, just to avoid having to hide the hairline behind like baby hairs. It's just not my preference. No shade to anyone that does it. It just personally is not my preference. So then, as you see, I do feel like it is laying down nicely, but for some of these lighter pieces of lace, I do want those to melt just a little bit better. So I am taking my little edges toothbrush and I am kind of pressing this into the hairspray and just brushing this back, and then I will be kind of creating some false sideburns here as well. I first just kind of section off a little piece of that, then I am going to clip it. I am also going to add a pump of my mousse to further help me mold it into like how I want it to look. Then I'm just going to kind of brush it, and then once I am satisfied with the way it looks, I am just going to blow dry that down. Now, I will say this was kind of my bigger issue, I think, because of the glue and the hairspray and the mousse, it ended up turning pretty white on me. So I had to really go in with the powder to correct that. If I wasn't in kind of a rush, I probably would have just used a little bit of glue remover to wipe that whole sideburn and then relaid it. But it's fine. The quick fix was to use some of my powder. Now, also, I will say that after I go in with my foundation powder, I like to go in with a bronzer as well, because I think that kind of helps really blend it too. And then right in this kind of like temple area, I decided to give myself a little bit of baby hairs. Now, I stopped parting it really crisp and like neatly and did more of a rougher part just because I think that looks, in my opinion, just a tiny bit more natural. And after I am satisfied with that chunk, I use a little bit of mousse, same thing, and kind of start to mold it to see just how I would like it. And then once I get it to look like I want, I am going to go ahead and clip it. Now, I also like to brush it into the hairline and really kind of get that faux relaxer look. Remember when you first got like a fresh relaxer, if you've ever gotten one, and you used to have the edges just lay down so straight and so pretty? Well, that's kind of what I want it to look like for the wig here. So this is what I end up doing, to where I brush the baby hair back into the hairline, blow dry it all together. And since I am using mousse as opposed to a gel, it's a little bit softer of a hold, but I do like the way that looks because I think it just looks a little bit more natural as opposed to like plastering it with like got to be. I also noticed just now how many times I said like, so I apologize for that. But since I do want a little bit more of a hold, once I really brush it and get it to lay right, I just go in with my Aussie hairspray and really just get that to lay like I want it to lay. So then I will say I take my hot comb and my flat iron and I really just play around with the front because I don't really want it to be like super plastered to my head, but I do want it to lay down nicely. So once I am satisfied with that side, I go ahead and I repeat the same steps, you guys, on this other side. So I just want to say that this hair is amazing. It is a kinky straight. I did go over it like once and in a couple spots, maybe twice, but I really wanted to leave that kinky texture because I've been really into like kinky straight lately. It just looks realistic, but like a little elevated, you know? The hair is beautiful. I want to say I got about 22 inches and this goes down to like my waist here. I am 5'6.5", so not really like super tall, but I'm not really short. I'm kind of like really in the middle. So it is long. I did go ahead and bleach the knots. Obviously I over bleached them just a little bit, so I probably will touch up the part with like hair dye. Not really a big deal, not really tripping. Also, it is a transparent frontal. Usually I tint the lace, but I didn't tint the lace, and I decided to just put like powder over it, which was kind of a mistake. So I was kind of playing around, showing you how I kind of like fixed it, so to speak. But I will say the lighting that I have is giving me a little bit more flashback around the lace, as opposed to like in real life you can't see it. But trial and error, no big deal. I am not mad at it. And yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. I will put all the specs on the hair down below in the description box. It is amazing. I literally bleached the knots. I didn't even pluck around the edges like at all, and so the hairline is pretty good, and it came pretty quickly. I want to say maybe like within a week. And it was actually pretty affordable as far as hair goes. The density though, I knew it was going to be thick. I want to say this is like 130, 150, maybe at the most 180. I saw some videos where somebody had maybe like 200 density or something, and I was like, that's a little too much for me. So it probably would get straighter than this. It straightens like a dream. It is not stiff at all. As you can see, it is still so soft, so flowy, and I am not getting any shedding other than like the little bits that I end up cutting while I was cutting like the lace and stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited about this hair, guys, in case you can't tell. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this video, learned something. I will aim to get better because it was a little tricky filming it and doing it. Like, it's been a while for me, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you would like to see more, let me know in the comments. And other than that, I hope you have a wonderful morning or afternoon or night whenever you see this, and I will link some extra videos right down here for you. So I'll see you guys in the next one.